So we are very excited to be here today, and I'm very happy Ujwal is able to join us also because he may not be there for every parent meetup, but at least I'm glad he's there for the first one. So for us, it's been a long journey. You know that for the last 20 years, what we keep discovering is movement, movement, movement. We keep needing that. We didn't discover it. I mean, parents now seem to get to it much faster than we did. And it's something that has been very, very important. Now, you can certainly get movement in different ways. You can do, swimming, all kinds of different things, karate, whatever. You can do different things. But for us, what's been really unique about Indian Natya is how it brings in the emotional expression, the language. So many things come in just one experience. So if we go to Ujwal's class, Anand's getting a pretty well-rounded experience where he's learning a lot of different skills at the same time. So that to me is the power of, this kind of a theater arts for holistic development approach. Now, everybody may not want to do Bharatanatyam, and also there are a lot of people with younger children, and I think the Bala Kendra actually provides a good solution for many of our young children. So that's how we sort of got into this. For a long time, I wanted to be part of something where we can offer something more concrete for parents in terms of the movement experience. Sure, you can put on, if you're happy and you know it, and you can put on the wheels on the bus, all that is fine. But that really does not make a well-organized, structured curriculum. So I think, once you have that well-organized curriculum, you can certainly do those other things. But I think it's good to have a well-organized curriculum, have a well-structured way of delivering it, and also have a structured process for parents to work with it. So that's my interest, because even though Anand goes in person, there is still a lot of work we have to do. He may have 2 lessons with Ujwal for a couple of hours, but to really get the benefit, we have to do a lot of time after that. And so how parents work with their children and support the learning is really important. So that's why we are here. I'm really interested in the family immersion part. I'm really interested in parent learning and how do we get parents to work with children in realizing more from the experience. So over to you, Ujwal. What we thought we'll do is we'll start straight from a very small snippet of a class. This was a little song that he had done in the last class that he did. And let's, hear that little snippet and talk about it in more detail. So over to you, Ujwal, for the first mini lesson or even micro lesson.
Thank you, Ramaji. And I wish Anant a very, very happy birthday. We are doing this on a very special day for Anant. This is little song I want you to repeat. I want Geetanjali to repeat with me because she missed the last class. Okay. And I've taught this song on it speaks about Ramana's mother, who was Alagammal, and Ramana's father, Sundaram Iyer. And this little boy, Venkatraman, was born to them by their tapasya, by their meditation to the god. Okay, and he played in a place called Tiruchudi. Are you ready for this? Alagam mana varabala Ramana Anandalila. Again, Alagam mana varabala Ramana Anandalila Sundararyana Tapapala ரமணா திருச்சுழி விலோலா
ரமணா
ரம்
ரமணா திருச்சுடி விலோலா
ரமணா ஆனந்த லீலா
ரமணா ஆனந்த
ஆனந்த
லீலா.
லீலா. Thank you.
Thank you.
There is very good.
You.
Do you know how the Pancha Tantra, the stories with lot of animals? Okay, Lavanya loves animals, right? Even Anand Bhaiya also loves animals. Do you know how this Pancha Tantra came into being? There were two princes, okay, and they were finding it difficult to learn anything from the school. So the Raja was very, very sad that they could not learn anything. So he announced in the kingdom, whoever can teach lessons to my children will get a huge prize. So one of the ministers, whose name was Vishnu Sharma, he told, I will teach your children. And he made up stories. And those stories had animals in them. They had stories of friendship, with whom we should be friends with, and it had stories of various experiences in the world, and all this was taught through stories, and that's how Panchatantra came into being. And talking about Mahatma Gandhi ji, once he went to see a drama of Satya Harishchandra, okay, one who always spoke truth. And when he saw that drama, he was completely transformed. He told, from now onwards, I'm never ever going to speak lies. I'm only going to speak truth. Such was the impact that the drama had. And this is the wonder of theater arts for holistic development. The theater arts, the Indian theater, it is not only for entertainment, but it brings about holistic development. When we do movement activities, when we do dance, when we move, there is a lot of physical development which happens. And with physical development, we are actually learning the song. So there is there is vocabulary which is grown, and you understand the meaning of the songs. And there is understanding of deeper concepts, like here in this song, when we spoke about Alagammal, who was Ramana Tata's mother, right? And we remember our mothers, right? When we think about Ramana Tata's mother, when we think about Sundaram Iyer, father of Ramana Tata, we can teach the concept of our own fathers. And we have, with this, you can extend it in different ways of understanding others' mother and father. If you have a cousin sister, and their mother and father becomes your uncle and aunt. So you can expand this concept to teach any concept. And through that, you can tell that we are all one. The mother earth is mother for everyone. And the God is the father for everyone. So we are all children of mother earth and the God supreme. So we are all brothers and sisters. So all these concepts can be taught with a simple theater activity. And although it's joyous to be part of this activity, and Ramaji always mentions that in classical dance, we have the movement is always, you don't just do alagammana, okay, say something which is beautiful. Okay, something which beautiful brings joy. When you are happy and joyous, what is the expression that we give? We smile bright and we show Alagammana. Alagamma, the name Alagu means beautiful. And the Sundaram also means beautiful in Sanskrit. So both the mother and father were beautiful. Although they had two different names, the meaning was one and the same. So similarly, our Appa and Amma are, although there are two bodies, they both take care of us, right? So we can bring all these concepts through this simple theater activity. And one more thing is not only expressions, we are also having emotions in dance. So we can bring joy. When we say Ananda Leela, when you say Ananda, you are happy. When you're happy, you are free, and you can stretch your hands and you can sway happily. So all these, the body language, which has to be done when you are happy. When you are sad, you crouch yourself, you become smaller, right? Or when you're afraid, you become small. But when you're courageous, you become wide. So all these, the body movements can be incorporated in the theater activities. And with Anand, we feel that we are discovering every day. So when I tell a story, when I told the story of the robbers at Ramanashramam, I never, I just simply in the flow of the story, I just told them that the robbers are all these invisible robbers, like the fear and the worries and the anxiety that enter our mind to rob us from our happiness. But Ramana Tata, when he sees these robbers, as soon as he sees them, they just vanish. When we remember Ramana Tata and his loving glance, all these go away. So, although I just told it in the flow of the story, but this made an impact, and he remembered that these are the invisible robbers. And we have one beautiful picture of Morphus Nag, where there is some robbers running like this. And I remember this story was retold by Lavanya too, with beautiful animations and beautifully narrated with all these background sounds, which was beautifully done. So the children are ready to grasp all these joyously through theater activities, and this is what we are aiming at Balakendra. Although you may feel that Balakendra is only focused on Ramana, we feel that in the Ramana literature and the stories of Ramana, I feel that there is enough to explore. There is all aspects of life have been touched. So I feel it is good to be focused. And Ramaji keeps telling me that what works is that since in the stories we have one main character, there is Ramana, and there is devotees, and there is some special characters like the animals which come into the scene. So it's easy for them to imagine the scene. And now that Anand has gone to Arunachala and seen the Ramanashramam, the Skandashram, the Virupaksha cave, and this time we had the opportunity to having the breakfast at the dining hall, and he had the glimpse of the kitchen which was there. So when he reads the story, when I narrate a story, he can picturize and imagine what would have happened in that scene. So this brings them great imagination and great learning through various tools that theater arts gives, which includes the movement activity, and we have the song, that is music, and we have stories, of course, and we have drama while we enact, and we have arts and crafts, which can also be used to communicate and to learn. Yes, Ramaji, is that a good introduction to Balakendra class, which has theatre arts for holistic development?
Yes. And, I'm glad you started with that little snippet, because what I wanted to share about that snippet is what you saw is actually exactly what Anant experiences in his Bharatanatyam class. It is the same thing. He comes there and there is a story component, there is expression, there is music. It is the very same process. So the only difference is, you might be learning about family, and if you saw Anand's birthday dance, they're exploring concepts like peace and power. So again, how do you express power? And it has got, you keep saying, Anand, don't keep your hand like this, keep your hand, up. So all these kind of body language, facial expressions, all of these things come together to convey different ideas. And so you're not only learning concepts, but you're also learning how to express it through body language and through emotion. So this, to me, is what makes theater unique. And the way, Anant learns it in his Bharatanatyam class is very similar to how it's done in the Balakendra class. There is a lot of movement, there is expression, there is emotional expression. And to me, the magic is also due to repetition. So we discovered this first with the White Peacock story. So Anant would just come for class, and they learn hastas. So you've seen that probably he's, some of you have seen his Fun with Hastas series, and you see the hasta videos that he does. And so they have different hastas. So you have one for the robber story, you have the eyes, the Kartari Mukha. And for each one, there is a different hasta. So basically, he would come to class, and Ujwal would be teaching some hasta, and he will tell the story along with it. We never realized that this was really making an impression on Anant, and suddenly he announced that he was going to narrate the White Peacock story on his birthday. So to me, I realized that, instead of pushing and demanding a response, saying, okay, what did I tell you last time? What did I tell you in the story? when you just have this gentle repetition going on, he is usually the one initiating something. So he'll have listened to the story, and then several sessions later, he'll be asking Ujwal something or saying something to Ujwal about the story. So I think repetition is very, very important. And that's the theme of this month. And that is where I also see the parent role. And that's why I actually requested Ujwal to do a very short snippet, because the way we want to think about this, and I think Gitanjali has probably explored this a lot as well. So you can take just a very small snippet and explore it with your child. And what you realize is there is even a difference between what works at the class level and what works for practice. So we have been discovering this. So when Anant is doing his Hasta videos, Ujwal would have done the whole Hasta, and he would have done one sloka, which might have 8-10 lines, and he would have shown the gestures. And a few hastas back, we realized Anant was getting very frustrated trying to memorize the gestures and the words and trying to understand the meaning. So I had to break it down even further and say, why don't you just learn the sloka first? Why don't you just learn 2 lines first? So it's really a process of breaking down to your child's level. And that's why I think the parent involvement becomes very important, especially in a group class, because it's impossible to figure out who needs exactly what at any given time. There are also differences. Anand, because he's a dancer, if Ujjwal were to sing the song, I'm sure he'll start imitating the movements. He's less likely to start singing right away. So each child is different. Some will sing and will resist moving. So you have to work with, wherever your child is. But what I've also noticed is when the child is very comfortable, they actually stretch and do things they're not comfortable with. So Anand started in Ujjwal's class, and he does not like singing. He's a piano player, has played piano for 10 years, but he absolutely resists singing. But somehow in Ujjwal's class, and the second class itself, he started singing along. So I was very shocked. So you realize that when they're comfortable, they may actually do things you never expect them to do. And Lavanya is another one who's very enterprising. She'll take a lot of the lessons and, do them on her own and create her own videos. So there's a lot of learning to be had. And much of what is done in Balakendra, even though it's, sure, there's a Ramana component, but it's also based on a lot of experience in schools. And so it is based on a school's curriculum. So you have things like, the family, trees, animals, all kinds of topics that usually are taught to young children. And I think it's a good way to build vocabulary, to understand in a deeper way. And I think Simi had mentioned at one point that it helps with visualization. So when you're doing all these movements, it helps you picture. Teaching emotions to our children is hard, but I don't think you can really teach emotions to children by showing them flashcards. This is happy, this is sad. I don't think they're really going to learn that. But when you teach them, say, fear or happiness, you show what the body language is, you show what the facial expression is, I think they get that much better. So I think there are lots of reasons to explore theater. To me, the way it brings in, the movement, expression, exploring emotions, all these together, that's what makes it powerful. And that's why I would encourage parents to think about, say, you have the animal song, which is really in the same tune as the, Old MacDonald Had a Farm. But I think Old MacDonald Had a Farm has a different quality and a different experience than in Ramana Tata's ashram, because you have Shinjita will speak to this, a lot of the children like that happily, they they connect to that part of it, right? So there is a different expression that comes. But what also happens is, and this is why I want to be involved with the Balakendra, because once you do this, you're sort of on the lookout for this, and you use it in other places too. So to my grandson, when I start reading, this a typical picture book for young children. So it's about the crocodile, and it might just be crocodile came here, crocodile did this, crocodile did that. But because I've now been involved with theater for a while, I'll automatically put in the, expressions and dramatize it a lot more, and, do the emotional part of it a lot more even when you're reading. So once you have this Balakendra experience, you can really use it in a lot of different ways. But I think to get the benefit, it's important for the parent to be involved, because ultimately they are the ones who really know their child well. They are the ones who can adapt it to their child's needs, and they are the ones who can really expand it and take it beyond the original experience that you have in class. So I'm very happy that Ujwal is running it in a family immersion way. And Gitanjali, thank you so much for joining in and demonstrating what a class looks like. So we'll just leave it open for a few questions at this point, and then share a few more things. Any questions, comments that anybody has?
Many, many happy returns of the day to Anand, where he is.
Yeah, happy birthday to Anand first.
He's off somewhere.
Actually, since I'm not a theater person and I don't know how to act and all, but what I do instead is I use a lot of small animated movies or small short films in my group classes. So basically, these would have again some values or some about friendship, like which were mentioned and all. And then there will be live expressions, so, live expressions, and the children would be able to, see the body language. Then I draw the attention of the child towards the eyebrows, towards the cheeks, or how the face is looking, how the body is open, exactly as he said. So maybe, I mean, the same way as we call God by so many different names, I mean, I'm using a lot of short films. They're easily available, CGI animated short films, and things like problem solving, cause and effect. A lot of emotions, like even jealousy has been tackled, and how jealousy can eat you up and it can only be replaced by love. So that's how I, modified theater and art, I can say. But this is really, really enlightening. And as Ujjwal said, theater or dance, I love theater. I mean, I'm an avid watcher of all that dance and all. Since my younger sister is a Bharatanatyam dancer, though she left everything after kid and all, but we have that in the family, so I can relate to whatever it's like going back to childhood days, seeing all that with Ujjwal now.
Thank you, Simi.
Thank you, thank you.
Anybody else has any?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, very happy to be a part of this meeting. I cannot say how excited I am to share my things.
Thank you.
Actually, when we are speaking about movement in this meeting, we got diagnosed Mihir at the age of 17 months. From 17 months to 4 years, on there were ABA, OTs, and many things went out, but nothing worked out. The main issue with Mihir was he always shouted, emotionally dysregulated, whatnot, in terms of making noise. And then we did yoga, which was first movement thing for both of us. And that yoga was a game changer, at least. First game changer. It helped a lot in calming Mihir. Later, after yoga, I did yoga very religiously for 1.5 years. Along with him, I did yoga.
Yes.
Whatever Mihir does, even I'm a part of it. He is a part of my body. We did. It helped me at that time. I became mentally free because that mountain pose, bhujangas, and it helped me also to
Yes.
channelize my thoughts. Then later I did RDA for 1 year. But what happened in RDA? RDA again it worked for me along with Mihir. I calmed down, I slowed down. Sometimes I feel like Mihir autism is more than him. It is for me. I
Yes.
I corrected myself a lot. Again, RDA helped for me. Then I came to know about this TAHD from Anila. She said that about you and Anand, how Anand does Bharatanatyam and all, which is second movement for us. I didn't understand. Even I had a big argument with her. Are this fellow is not standing at one place. You are talking about Bharatanatyam. What are you talking and all? But after our day, there was few setting limits and all, and we started TAHD. the main reason of continuing PhD, 70% is Ujwal sir. He made me feel so comfortable. Like Mihir shouts a lot. For first 6 months, he did nothing except shouting, shouting, shouting. But he made me feel really very comfortable. And as you said, along with Mihir, I did everything. This happily more than Mihir, I was happy doing this. So I couldn't stop. I waited for Thursday. Okay, I would do happily. Mihir, you do or don't do. You just sit there, I'll do. Slowly, he also started enjoying. And like just now, Simi ma'am said, ki making faces and all. What I'll say, ki after TAHD, after one year of doing with me here, now he reciprocates faces. If I put little angry face, he's also doing. If I'll make a weird face, hey, what is this? Then he's also imitating and all.
Yes.
But of course, we also do mistakes. The thing is, we are struggling with the screen time now, and I'm just back from a trip from 10 days, so it's again going to a big thing, regulating his screen time. But I seriously now I'm enjoying dancing, and I got little hope that Mihir will also dance. So I really wish one day Mihir and Anand will become good dance partners. I hope.
We started in the same place too because Anant did Mascutova neurosensory motor reflex integration. And when Dr. Svetlana Mascutova said, after a year of that therapy, she said, Mom, dance for him. And I said, dance for him? Because he has so many motor problems, it makes no sense. And he did hip hop and tap for a couple of years because that was available nearby. And then we were in Tirupati once, and on the screen, he just saw Bharatanatyam one glance, and he said, I'm going to learn that. And that's how he came to Bharatanatyam, and it was a game changer because, when you have a lot of motor problems, I think, the free-flowing hip-hop, that's not what he could pick up. But Bharatanatyam is so structured. You have the hastas. He's learning for his diploma. He's learning 52 hand gestures and all their uses and what the meanings are and how to use them in stories. There is the eye movements, so many different things are there and so structured. That worked for him. And I think he has a good sense of rhythm and he loves music. So I think he connected to Bharatanatyam a lot more than we tried karate for him. It didn't click. So I think this connects the movement to music and rhythm. And I think that's why he took to it. So even though it's like Bharatanatyam, how come he got into Bharatanatyam? But when you think back, it makes perfect sense because it's very structured. See, that's why I came up with that simple idea because structured, incremental. Bharatanatyam is very, very incremental. You do the same thing, you repeat, and you add a little bit more. And then it's very measurable. You did Adavu 1, now you're doing Adavu 1 and Adavu 2, whatever it is. It's very, very quantifiable. You know exactly where you're progressing. And with Ujwal, I think the playground can be a little different because a lot of the senior teachers will usually tap on the stick and give more oral instructions. But Ujwal is always dancing with Anant, and that really helps because there's so much imitation and there's less pressure on Anant, and so he just dances along. And then there is those elements come in, and so it's made the learning really strong with him. So I think theater is there, but I keep coming back to, people say, oh, Bharatanatyam. But I'm like, when we see my 3-year-old nephew, he doesn't care it's called Bharatanatyam. He'll say, Adda Pataka, and he'll be doing all these gestures. He can't even speak the words, but he's trying to say it. We are the ones who make it, oh, Bharatanatyam. They don't care. He'll have fun with it. And so if you don't really get worried by the fact that it's called Bharatanatyam, I think you'll discover that there's a,
Actually, now I understood how dances go. I mean, for me, all these attention activities are different and dance is different. But now I understood both are one and
Yes.
same.
Yes.
And
Actually, that's a good point because once they saw Anand's birthday performance, one of the comments was he's so focused, right? When you're dancing and you're doing this 5-minute dance, there's a whole lot of attention. You have to listen to the music. You have to, pay attention to so many things to do that dance. And when Anant was in the drama and the Rasa Day shows, there's so much to coordinate. You have to pay attention to where everybody else is, and suddenly they'll do things which are unexpected. Suddenly a character enters who was not supposed to enter that time. Something happens, and you have to really adapt to everything and keep going. So I think, theater just gives a lot of learning for a
Yeah.
kid.
And our dancing friend is Lavanya. We watch her videos and I'll say, hey, she's doing, we are lagging. Come on, let us do, let us do. I watch her videos a lot. Manju Mam's daughter.
So Ujjwal,
She's very cute.
we have a few more minutes. Manju, you wanted to share something, and then we'll let Ujjwal finish up at the end.
Yeah, actually, I was listening to you and I was thinking about this incident which happened very recently. Lavanya is now a part of Ujjwal Anna's dance class actually, because we couldn't match with the timing for this children, this thing, Balakendra. So she's shifted to dance class now, Ujjwal Anna's. So there was performance which happened in Dashara, Navaratri performance. So in that, a funny thing happened that she did the performance. Then there was a group performance with the elders. I mean, adults means Ujjwal Anna and other teachers were doing performance. And there was a small which they had to do. The children had to stand behind and do a little steps. So I never knew that she is a part of it. And I have a doubt. I should ask Ujjwal Anna only. Is she really a part of it? Because she also went. She stood there. She just copied everyone and she didn't care. No practice, nothing. And I was shocked seeing that because I did not even know that she's a part of another song as well. So I really wanted to ask Anna that was she really a part of that or she just went and she did it?
So
Because I remember
actually,
only one
I
dance
had taught,
performance.
I taught that part to her, but I felt that okay,
Acha,
Lavanya, you can skip this part, others will do. But there was a one person
acha.
who was absent, so she uh, did the substitution for that person and then
Oh,
did
okay.
it.
So
Uh,
because we did not practice, I did not know that she's going to do it. So I was like surprised, a surprise for the mother that I am not prepared her for something and she's doing it. But I could see that she was copying from others. Like she was literally copying everything, all these steps she was copying.
So one wonderful
So
thing about Lavanya is backstage, she was talking to all the toddlers, all the children. She's very friendly and she wants to talk and become friends with everyone in backstage. So that's very beautiful about Lavanya.
that is what the journey is. Autism journey. I have learned that first we complain that our children don't talk, don't talk, don't talk. Then we complain they talk too much. They don't stop. So that regulation we have to bring now. Just make her stop talking. I mean, she is like over like talking now, and I mean, I'm really like we go to yoga class together now. As Geetanjali was mentioning about yoga, I remembered that also. That before we couldn't do yoga together, but now we have found a class wherein we both go and do. For 6 months now, we are doing yoga in Bangalore. After shifting to Bangalore, we are doing yoga for 6 months now. So I see that huge change in her, wherein before she was like maybe 20% she was copying the steps and yoga asanas and all. Now it has reached to 40% now. Not 60 also, I would say 40, but it is an achievement for us. I know how far she has come. So I feel happy that wow,
Yoga
six
really
months
does
she's
wonders.
40,
I
she
mean,
reached to 40.
same
Sorry?
Karthik has been doing yoga does wonders because Karthik
Ah,
has a
really.
very low tone. So he's been doing yoga for about 7 years now. So
Hmm.
like he can do lot of other things, much better than me. I mean, I'm also learning yoga along with him. So that's one thing I've
So
seen him
free of
do.
cost we get healthy because of our children.
No, no. Seeing Karthik doing yoga, I asked the teacher to teach me also because of his
Oh.
flexibility. So I take a separate class.
I go because of her. Like I am like she will not do if I don't go. So we take that like we will do together. So we are doing that. And dance is like no doubt like it is something which is coming from inside for her. There is no role of I mean first time in my life that I have zero role in her life for dance. I mean, dance is the only thing where I have zero role. I've not played any role. She has picked up first time she saw Anand's dance, Arangetram dance she saw. Then she switched to Bharatanatyam. She was like, yes, I will do this. Then I started her journey of Bharatanatyam. So he has played a main role in that for motivating her to start Bharatanatyam.